is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds.
If Bud was the best, I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He's hands down. He's the best. He's the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do.
I've been a world champion, as you know, and I've been a 3-division world champion. I've only won 1 of the belts. I don't know what it is to be undisputed. I don't know that feeling. Do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable.
Stephen A. Smith called out Floyd Mayweather for dismissing Terence Crawford's big win over Canelo Alvarez. Smith argued that Crawford made history, reminding everyone that no other fighter has ever become undisputed champion across multiple weight classes like he has. He emphasized that Crawford built his legacy through hard work and deserves full respect, not criticism. For Smith, this victory wasn't just another notch on Crawford's record, it was the defining moment that secured his place among boxing's all-time greats. He made it clear that Mayweather's negative comments can't take away from Crawford's incredible achievement.
Is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance.
Jeff Mayweather didn't hold back when talking about Canelo's loss to Terence Crawford. He said this defeat will always leave a mark on Canelo's career. Canelo was seen as the undisputed king of his division, dominating everyone who stood in front of him. But then he was beaten by a fighter who moved up in weight and challenged him on his own turf. According to Jeff, this isn't just a minor setback, it's a permanent stain on Canelo's legacy. He explained that great fighters are remembered for their defining moments, and unfortunately for Canelo, that moment was a crushing defeat at the hands of Crawford.
But either way, he was in discussion certainly with Chavez. What did this do to his legacy? Because I don't think he caught, the Floyd fight didn't give him, people didn't really look down on him because even though he had 40 fights, he was still, fighting one of the greatest ever in an absolute master. In B-ball, he went up weight classes to win. But now he's fighting a smaller guy, a great fighter, but a smaller guy. Does this damage his legacy in any way?
I think it does. Because, the one thing is this, is that, you were ruling, you were the king of that weight class. And the king of that weight class for a good while. And I think that, he had a huge following because, he became the face of boxing.
And even though it's another, future Hall of Famer, still losing a guy come up a couple weight classes, kind of makes you seem not as great as you might have been.
Stephen A. Smith was blown away by Terence Crawford's victory and made his admiration clear. He said being there to witness it in person made the moment even more powerful for him. In Smith's view, no fighter in boxing history has ever done what Crawford just accomplished, moving up in weight and dominating a champion as strong as Canelo. He described it as a career-defining achievement that puts Crawford in a league of his own and guarantees this night will be remembered forever in boxing history. For Smith, this wasn't just another fight, it was a turning point in how true greatness is measured in the sport.
This was Terence "Bud" Crawford moving up 2 weight divisions, really 3 in my mind, because he only fought 1 fight at the junior middleweight division. So he's really moving up from 147 pounds, okay? Terence "Bud" Crawford moving up to the 168-pound limit in an effort to claim the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world from the grasp of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now I was there because let me tell you something right now. There's very, very few sporting events in the world that are better than a super fight in Vegas. I can tell you that right now. There's very, very few events. Props to Nick Khan of the WWE.
After the fight, Terence Crawford's trainer made it clear that Crawford has nothing left to prove. In his eyes, Crawford has reached a level where respect should no longer be questioned. Still, some critics continue to hold back, which he finds frustrating. Even after dominating one of boxing's biggest stars, Crawford is still fighting battles outside the ring. His trainer explained that Terence isn't focused on chasing another fight right now. What he accomplished against Canelo is more than enough to secure his place among the greats. For Crawford, this moment wasn't about collecting names, it was about building a legacy that no one can deny.
Terence Crawford. And his well-renowned trainer, two-time trainer of the year and future Hall of Fame trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, recently did an interview in which Bomac stated that a fight is not happening. And this particular fight is a fight that everybody wanted to see Canelo Alvarez take, and Canelo Alvarez refused to take this fight with a 28-year-old two-division world champion, reigning WBC light heavyweight, former two-time WBC super middleweight, the Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, who's one of my favorite fighters and a great person, David, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster Benavidez, who has 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout, stands at 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach, and fights at 175. But the entire time David Benavidez was fighting at 168, Canelo Alvarez was brought up, and he never accepted the fight. And so, with that said, now people are trying to project this fight on Terence Crawford. And they're saying that Terence Crawford needs to take the fight. So Bomac yesterday did an interview, and Bomac said they're not fighting David Benavidez. And so now people are pushing this notion that Terence Crawford is ducking and Terence Crawford is scared of David Benavidez. And if he don't fight David Benavidez, according to Boxing News 24,